1.
You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
I'm shorter than you.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waste. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 453rd edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight I've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Hello, hello.
And also Jess. What's up, Jess?
Hello, DJ Andrew, and greets everybody.
We're
just over
seeing
here
how
flocking.
long, we're seeing how long we can hang on to our vows today. Sorry. All right, guys, welcome to the show. We got a feedback episode coming at you. Just for all of those new to the concept, we are the show who compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Play the same quests. Compare our experiences. If you'd like to participate, go ahead and hit us up. The Fallout Feed at gmail.com. Send us in your 5-minute feedback and hop on our show just like these nice folks have tonight. We'll hear from Nana Janet. We will hear from Suliore and Leon. Also, Vanessa, Matt, Calm Horizons, Jeff, Baker, and also Lou. So we'll have a nice big old chunk of feedback tonight. We've got a couple of games set up if there's time. Of course, feedback takes precedence on feedback night. We've also got a little bit of looks like a nice chunk of iguana bits. It kind of feels like we've been bare bones a little bit for a while there. We got TV news or something?
They're rolling them out. I feel like it's been once a month lately. I'll get a day with like 4 to 6 news items. And then, 1 or 2 kind of drip feed for 3 weeks. And then next month, boom, a bunch of stuff. So I'm actually saving some of these morsels for later. I'll put them in the fridge so they don't spoil. But yeah, I got even more than I got listed.
Oh, wow. She's got news. She's squirreling away the news, you guys. Also, it looks like we have a shout on the way out the door. So we'll go ahead and roll into our show. Started off like we usually do with the gameplay and what we've been getting into recently. Jess, did you get a chance to play any video games this week, did you?
I did, though not as much as I would have liked. Good reasons, though. Good things. So first of all, if people didn't notice, I'm going to shout out my dames. We actually put out 2 episodes of Dames Who Game. We got together last Saturday, recorded for a bit, and then I got my button gear and put out an episode last weekend.
Nice.
And then another episode this morning so people would believe that they were actually coming.
That's amazing.
I know. Well, we have still like 4 in the hopper. So we're going to go. We slowed down on recording a lot, but that was my excuse on slowing down on publishing. But there's no excuse because it's self-fulfilling prophecy. So we're going to, hopefully every couple weeks, at least once a month, maybe. Until we catch up. Hopefully we'll catch up by June or July, catch up to real time. And then new episodes. But check it out. Dames, see what we were playing a year and a half ago. Get to know us.
Become familiar with games from a year and a half ago.
What I love is how much things change, how much they stay the same.
Oh, yeah?
Because we have switched up the games we're playing some. But, talking to my dames this weekend and then listening to what we were doing a year and a half ago, like there are things that we played and then we stopped and now we're revisiting. I'm like, oh, we came back to that, And people's primary game are shifting a bit, like there was a while where sharing was all ESO. There's a while when I was all Fallout 76, not that long ago. Back before, in a time before Starfield and such. But we keep coming back to our touchstones. So anyway, it's fun to catch up with that. And if you guys want to catch up with us, do check out the Dames Who Game podcast feed. It's I know some people unsubscribed when it had been almost a year since the last episode. Totally get it.
Don't do that.
But if you haven't, they shouldn't. But sometimes people like declutter.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this dead podcast. Well, guess what? It's not
It ain't
dead.
dead, Fred.
It's just pining for, getting edited and published. But I
Pining for
did play.
exposure.
I did play more Baldur's Gate 3, of course.
Oh,
I know
nice.
that's not Fallout, but that is right now my main game besides our Fallout 3 playthrough. I'm still loving it, but I didn't play as much as I wanted. I got maybe 6 hours in. One of those weeks, and I know a lot of people listening can feel this, where you work all day and then you finish, you take care of maybe a few chores, you make dinner, and you don't even have it in you to play a game. Maybe you decide to catch up on a little bit of YouTube or your favorite thing. You start to drift off, fall asleep. But I got some Baldur's Gate in. Still in the Underdark, exploring literally everything. We've been talking about it in the Discord. Discovered or got into the Arcane Tower. That is a maze. Okay, so how to describe it? Well, it's a tower, but it's fortified with arcane turrets. And so how like when you first go into a nuke silo, see, I'm bringing it back. And you've got like these laser turrets every corner you walk around and they're, shooting the heck out of you. And especially if you're a melee character, they're hard to take out.
That's the worst. I hate that.
See, okay, there we go. You're back on board. You're back. I got you again. So it's like that.
Throw my
because
weapon at it.
you can't shut these turrets down because as soon as you kill them, they resurrect next turn. The worst. So there are tricks to it. I discovered, and there are a bunch of ways around it. You can blind them, but I was using an anti-magic field, so you can kind of dispel them to get through. So there's a big tower. I was in this tower for like 3 hours at least, exploring it. Got that in the Underdark. My characters are great. They hit level 6, funnily, same as my Fallout 3 character was. And yeah, just really still enjoying it and loving the conversation with all of our friends too who are also playing it. I'm at the back of everybody in the Discord right now. I'm sure there are some people listening or in there who haven't started yet and are thinking about it. But it's kind of great because everyone knows things I don't. So they're laughing at what I'm about to find. And then I find it.
So, who is this Baldur person and what do they have that is so important that they need a big gate?
Funny you ask. Lore nerds rejoice. People who enjoy the Forgotten Realms. See, this is one area where I excel because I have been a D&D girl since, the late 80s. And I grew up with the Forgotten Realms. So, believe it or not, the city of Baldur's Gate, as I remember, was originally called like Greyhaven or Grey Docks or something. But it was named after this hero, Baldur, who held the gate in a battle, or the gate he returned in, and became known as Baldur's Gate. And soon the gate became more famous than the rest of the city, and eventually the whole city was called Baldur's Gate. So there you go.
Very nice.
See, a little bit of lore for you.
Lore set.
The whole Forgotten Realms setting is actually really cool. So much of what they do these days in the games and books is all like on the West Coast there, the Storm Coast. From Icewind Dale down to Neverwinter, down to Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate. It's a huge map, though. Anyway, this is not the Baldur's feed. No, this is the Fallout feed. So I did also play some Fallout 76. I actually popped in just to kind of check out some of the new items. First of all, PSA, there is an awesome new generator. Okay, so
Uh-oh.
a new generator came out last week, and I believe it's called the Utility Generator, and it is wireless power. Finally, we have a generator that will give you wireless power in an area. So essentially like you're using a big old power nipple, but instead it's built right in. So you turn it on. I know I set myself up. And it'll radiate for like five foundations worth all around it at least. So a good 20-30% of your camp space from just one generator. It's beautiful. So that's great. I had to test that out. Also just check some of the other new items. There are some good ones in there. And I did some building. The Fallout TV show is coming up. And we got that Vault 33 jumpsuit. So I wanted to do some promo pics for getting ready for when the show launches. Taking pictures of little things I want to use for various things. So was really fun to get in there, build a camp for a bit, take some pictures. A lot of my favorite things. Of course, it was double XP weekend last weekend, but I did not get any XP.
Anything exciting I'm missing in the atomic shop besides the item you just mentioned there?
Well, there's the wiener roller. We don't need to put that in iguana bits here. Let's go. Hold on. Let's get to it.
Oh no,
right
if it's
now.
in iguana bits, we can get to it later. It's fine.
No, it's not actually. I didn't actually put any of this stuff in iguana bits this time. So let's just check it out. There we go.
Oh nice.
So, in the Atomic Shop, we've got the Fallout First Season 6 and 7 catch-up bundle. So, yeah, catch up with later seasons finally. Also, the Arcade bundle, the Radiating Test bundle, and the Pepperoni Roll. It's technically a pepperoni roll, but I call it the Wiener Roller because it's like a pig in a blanket, and you've got just this little bit of the hot dog sticking out, and it's quite funny. So, yeah, it's the Wiener Roller. It looks kind of like a pretzel stick too. It looks pretty good actually. Clean shower. A couple of these things are returning items, but still they're in there at a good price. So that's what I would recommend. There's also the Arcade Ride bundle. So if you didn't get that, some of these when they came out, not only do you get the Wiener Roller, but you get that golf cart with like the best song. Do you have that one,
No,
Andrew?
yeah, I was just about to say, I don't love the shape of the golf cart in comparison to the rocket ship. I think the rocket ship is the coolest ride, but if you want a goddamn catchy tune, just set yourself up on that golf cart and just have a good time. It is
So catchy.
Do you have that one? Can you punch in that sound? I don't have it.
I don't know. I don't have the sound. I should though. I have a clip with it. I should record it as an audio bit.
Such a good little
Lee in
tune.
chat says the Wiener Roller sounds painful. Thank you, Lee.
It's like he's never had a hot dog from the gas station. Oh, who did you say said that?
That was our buddy Lee.
Come on, he's had to have a wait. What do you guys have down there? Down south, Buc-ee's or something? Is that the super popular gas
QT.
station? QT. I don't even know. Get yourself a good tasty gas station hot dog there, Lee.
Yeah.
You'll be living large.
Yeah, the late night after bar food, the stuff that, those kind of snacks. And those are the wieners on the rollers. You get the footlongs, you get like the weird sausages, you get all kinds of
Gotta make sure
weirdness.
they've been there a few hours too. You want to make sure they're right.
Honestly, I think I've only had those once or twice in my life because But you give me the hot dogs in like the steam machine with the tongs and the buns and
the
the
steam
foil.
bun. I love it when they got the little bun steamer down underneath. That's the best.
Yeah, that's good drunk food. Just saying. But so yeah, there are some good things. But the only real new ones I would mention are that roller and the generator. Let's see. And I don't think there's anything else still hanging out in there. There's a cool new bed and a wicker stash box as well that I like. Yeah, those are just a couple items that caught my fancy.
Nice.
So that's what I was doing in there in 76, building and photos, which, it doesn't sound like much, but considering I haven't played a whole lot of 76 since Christmas, it was good to be in there doing stuff and playing with that system.
Yeah, I finished the season. I was like, adios.
And then in Fallout 3,
Playing
I've
next
been
season.
talking Fallout with people again in the Discord and elsewhere and going through, taking a lot of pictures in Fallout 3 so far, but I didn't get much new play this week. I'm just anticipating people's feedback, where they're at, and I got to get my butt in gear so that we get to the DLC and, hit Operation Anchorage this coming week.
So you're playing.
So I'm ready to take off and do that.
You're playing on Xbox, right? Or you're not doing your PC for?
Yeah, I'm playing on Xbox.
Playing on
Everybody
Xbox.
scared me away. I shouldn't have let them.
Shoot, I forgot what I was about to ask. Yeah, I don't know.
All good. So my Fallout 3, I'm level 6. I'm only a little further than I was. I've explored Rivet City, turned in a few quests. I need to finish stuff for Three Dog, and then when I get to the point where I'm naturally at Rivet City and Madison Lee and finish all the Three Dog stuff, then I will be ready for Operation Anchorage. So that's really like 2 quests that I want to do on the main story. Maybe a little more side leveling. I have a feeling at the rate I'm going, I'll only be level 8 when I start Operation Anchorage this week. but that's fine. Aiming for 10, but 8 isn't bad. It's I'm a little bit behind a lot of our feedback people that we'll hear from because I think most of them are in the 8 to 13 range already. I think Lee actually might have hit 15. He said.
No way.
We'll hear. Yeah. Yeah, so people are getting it in there. Some people kind of pushing through the main story, which is great. Like I said, 4 weeks is plenty of time to get the main story if you put the time in. But I was just a little bit too drained this week to play a whole lot besides the 2 nights that I reserved for Baldur's. That's my gameplay, but I'm curious what you guys have been up to.
How about you, Ray? You get a chance to play anything this week?
A little bit. Actually, it's been kind of a light week. But playing Starfield, that the social character, as I imagined, I didn't last too much longer. So I got a little frustrated. So, my goal with the character was to be a smuggler and really try to get, make deliveries of contraband into cities. And so I wanted to level up the deception perk. But I discovered that perk is kind of expensive and or cruel to level up. So to level up deception, which lets you, it increases your persuasion attempts on ships in space, where you can get them to succumb to piracy. And it also increases the percentage chance that you'll be able to slip through a contraband check. But in
That's
order to
super
level
useful.
that perk up, you have to pirate ships. And so the problem with pirating a ship is that you get a 1,500 credit bounty, which costs you 1,650 to pay off. And so either you end up paying a lot of cash to level this skill, or you have to convince them to hand over all their goods and then kill them.
Well,
Which,
there you go. Easy peasy.
but that's not very smugglerish.
No.
The whole goal of convincing somebody to give you all their stuff is so that you don't have
to kill them. Right.
But you a lot of times you'll pirate somebody and you'll get like 3 iron, a couple of frames, and maybe 100, 200 credits. And so, now you're in the hole, because it costs more to clear the bounty than you got from them.
Is there some special quest along the way that you have like a dirty cop friend in the tariff or fee department of who you got back channels to get rid of your fines or something
to clear your bounty without actually having to pay them?
Exactly, right.
Yeah, not that I've come across.
Well, there's your first mod to write, Ray.
Okay, well, I think that
how about a Fallout feed flag in Starfield?
There you go.
Can you make that one?
The it just didn't really pan out as a character, so I'm like, okay,
just
see ya.
Just because the skill that you really wanted to concentrate on was too high level, and you're like generally you kind of spin these characters off, 15, 20 levels. Well, that's Fallout levels. How is Starfield levels semi-equivocal to, say, like Fallout 4 more than 76? I assume they don't come as quick as 76.
Yeah, they come pretty fast.
Oh, do they really?
At least at first, yeah. They slow down quite a bit as you go.
Yeah,
but it's those first 10, 20 levels are very like Fallout 4.
It's that
or quicker
exponential growth thing where it like doubles each time or whatever, or adds.
Yeah, it
definitely
value goes up quite a bit each time. Yep. But yeah, it's pretty trivial. I'll be playing along, and all of a sudden it'll come up and say I'm level 22. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was that high.
And you can do that in a weekend or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't take long at all. So I started kind of a jack of all trades character, one that I could play, just the way that I like to play. So I've been playing on that character for quite a bit. That one, I wanted to do a little more shipbuilding, and so I got some of the tech stuff up on that one to be able to do that. And
well, that's actually a fun point. You do so many experiments on character builds and such that I'm trying to think if I had to pick your play style. I don't know if I could nail it exactly. What do you like to do in Starfield? Like piracy seems to be one of your favorite activities, right? You like stealing ships and stuff.
Yeah, stealing ships, and then also clearing buildings.
Yep.
So. And, really to effectively, go through facilities and stuff, you've got to have a character that, that shoots guns.
Melee.
Melee can be fun in small amounts, but in order to really, spend any time at all, you need to be able to shoot a gun.
Did you do an extensive melee character?
Yeah, I've done a couple of them. One I did as a more of a samurai type, so running and slashing.
Yeah, right.
And then the much less successful ninja type, because you just can't. There's just not enough. Even though they've improved sneak, there's not enough sneak to really do an effective, ninja type character.
Right, and we're talking about stealth takedowns and such, that there really aren't many.
Yeah. So that's been pretty fun. I've been playing with a new mod for me called Level Mission Board Rewards.
Ooh.
And that kind of like the melee mod that brought melee weapons into the same realm as everything else. With tiers, this brings mission board missions on par with all the other miscellaneous questing, that ramps up as you level up. And so, it's pretty clear to see if you do a lot of the UC and Freestar assist missions in space, where you shoot the ships and they give you credits. As you level up, they give you more and more credits, each time. And so, you can get it up to, I think, 3,200 credits for each assist. Well, mission boards have always had the same value for the missions, no matter what level you are.
Right.
So,
they
kill the pirates, for 2,000 credits.
Right. It seems to be like ratchet up, like 2,000, 2,400, maybe 3,000 for something fancy, or moving people planet to planet.
But it's the same if you're level 5 or 50. Well, this one takes and makes that leveled so that as you level the same, it's the same tiers that you get with all the other, quest bumps. It applies that to your mission board missions.
That's
Now,
logical.
Yeah. If you don't do missions, so if you don't do any missions until you get to level 20, you're still going to get the base rate. But after you've done the first set of missions, cleared those in the mission board, then the next ones that pop up will be at the higher value. But if you've just got a character, I've been doing a lot of mission board missions, and so they've steadily increased in value as I've advanced the character. So
now,
it's been a nice mod.
Cap creep and getting like plenty of caps, feeling like the richest guy in the system. That happens for a lot of people in Starfield, just like a lot of other games by the time you're level 30 or 40. But it probably makes sense at, if you're only leveling up to 20 or 30, that it's logical. But do you think the extra caps make a real difference to the character? Or like if you only focus on missions for a character, maybe?
Not really how many caps you get.
Sorry, credits.
That's not the point.
Okay.
The point is that you're valuing my time and effort at a
we
level
live in a society. Okay, no, you're right. You bring a certain level of expertise to this mission. You deserve to be paid commensurately.
Exactly.
Fair.
And so, I'm not going to, I am not going to do dirty deeds done dirt cheap. I'm going to do them at the value at which they, should be valued.
What I'm hearing is Preston better up the ante if he wants that settlement clear to Mirelurks. Exactly. Otherwise, we ain't doing that anymore.
Not anymore.
Fair.
So that's been a fun mod to play with. That's and it's worked seamlessly. So I've been focusing mods on, fixing these, little, discrepancies in the game. The modders have been doing a great job of picking these things up and putting those in. So I'm not really looking for mods that do anything crazy or, give me any huge advantage. Although I may have to take out my bullet crafting mod because it's just way, way, way too easy to have unlimited ammo supplies. So even more than credit creep, I've got ammo creep. When you've got thousands and thousands of rounds for your weapons.
They don't weigh anything. It's kind of nice. You can just keep shooting. Just start blasting.
Yeah. So I may have to pull that out because even at very hard, you don't use that much ammo. So, and when my focus has always been on setting up the copper and lead farm on Shoza 3. And it doesn't take any time at all to have, enough to make, unlimited rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that one may have to get slid out just because it's just too easy.
It makes sense, but you got to try them to find out. You got to get that balance right. And when we do get survival mode or whatever in Starfield, that'll make a big difference. Anything else in that game or?
Not so much in Starfield. I'll have to take a picture of the ship that I'm flying right now because it's it's definitely just the kind of ship I build. So
Okay.
this ship is as short as it can be. So it's one hab with a cockpit, and then the grav drive and the reactor on the back with the engines.
You just really miss your guppy build, don't you?
Yeah. And then just stacked with weapon mounts.
Just call it Stumpy. Bristling with weapons.
Little ball of knives.
A Tasmanian devil.
It does remind me of the fighting hamster, where they've taped a combat knife to the top of a hamster.
What on earth is that from?
I don't know. It was just a cartoon that I had seen.
We've got to look that up now.
So Fallout 3, I just kind of got on a kick of gathering bobbleheads.
Right, as you do.
Some of it was because I needed some of them. But then once you get going, you just kind of go.
Do you have a good enough memory to remember where they all are, or did you have to look any of them up, or what was your strategy there?
A lot of it I looked up. And so at this point, I think there might be 5 bobbleheads I don't have, maybe 6.
Yeah, I think you showed a picture with quite a few of them.
You said
I've gotten 2 more since then.
Nice.
So yeah,
you said there's 20 total. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I picked up. What did I get? Science and endurance. So endurance, I was a little bit put off by because you have to go into the Deathclaw cave.
Oh.
That's worse than the Yaogwai tunnels. At least it sounds it.
I'd rather stick to the Radroach hallway, please.
Almost got her to spit her drink.
Now I'm drinking coffee.
But it turned out to be one of the easiest ones I've got. So as
Why
soon as
did you sneak or something?
Yeah, well, I used a stealth boy.
Oh, smart.
Okay.
I don't really
sell
use
those things.
stealth boy.
No, I never do.
I don't really think about it. But I thought, I wonder if I can get past him if I do a stealth boy. So I did. And, fortunately, the bobblehead is in a pretty direct location. In the first room that you walk into, you don't have to go down through any of the tunnels or any of that. And so I just popped a stealth boy, walked in, picked up the bobblehead and walked out.
Hilarious. Nice. Good work.
So that one I hadn't expected to pick up, but did anyway. So
you said that cave is up in the northwest corner up there, right?
Yeah.
On the way to Raven Rock? I just happened to miss it somehow.
Yeah. But it's kind of, so it's a cave in a little canyon. It's easy to miss.
In the same canyon that the river cut? Because I just followed the river all the way up.
Yeah, no, it's off. It's off to the east a little bit from the river.
Oh, okay.
Which one did I picked up small guns at the armory. That one is pretty hairy. There's no easy way to get that one. A lot of robots.
Armory full of, I was going to ask turrets and robots and stuff.
Yeah. And I did the crazy vault. Vault
106?
106.
The Garys?
Yeah, I like that vault.
No. It has all of the insane, what do they call them?
Hallucinations, essentially.
But so you get, you constantly get these hallucinations, but the vault is full of crazy people.
Oh yeah, I forget.
Insane survivors.
Right. Do they have a couple different? Do they have like a couple different names?
It's like
I
hallucinogen, kind of.
insane survivor, deranged survivor, especially crazy survivor.
Wait, those are the different rankings of the bad guys?
No, I think they have a couple names, but yeah.
That's gonna be funny.
But there's a lot of fun stuff in that one. It's relatively easy because they're all melee. And I've got the sword from the vampires, which is really nice, super fast swing speed. So it's really effective. I've kind of backed off on the shish kebab a little bit because I keep blowing myself up.
Wait, what? Oh, because you keep hitting the gas with it?
Yeah, you keep walking past gas vents,
hit a car,
and all of a sudden, kaboom! You catch on fire and it knocks you down. And so it's did I just die? Oh no, I just got lit on fire.
It's powerful, but that's messy. Yeah.
But yeah, so you get all kinds of hallucinations. You see scientists walking around, and you see the tunnel snakes. So Butch, Wally Mack, and Paul.
Oh, your old buds.
Yeah. And then also you go into a room and it's got your dad in it. And so it's kind of a fun trip to go on.
I remember I've always enjoyed that vault. It's usually the first vault that I enter after ours, just because of the position when you're heading west. It's kind of right in the middle west as you go on the map. And yeah, I always thought it was a pretty solid vault.
Yeah.
Haven't gone west yet this playthrough, though. I've only gone east.
Okay. Yeah, I've been pretty much all over now.
Getting 15 bobbleheads, you would be. Absolutely. So let's see. You got the repair from Arfu. You got the sneak, and you mentioned the endurance with the death claw. Any of that? So you are like, do you know what you're going for next, or?
Possibly charisma in Vault 108.
That's the Gary's, right? 108.
Yep. So Barter's in Evergreen Mill. I don't know that I'll go there. Probably depending on if I need combat armor repair, I could go to Fort Constantine. But if I was going to do that one, then I'd want to go around and collect all the keys. But I don't know that I really want to do that.
I don't remember where Fort Constantine is on the map.
The keys to what?
It's up there in the
way up north.
North, yeah. But it's where the nuclear launch is. The ICBMs.
Okay.
And so there's all kinds of stuff up there to do, but there's also a lot of things that are required. I probably won't ever get the energy weapon bobblehead at Raven Rock because I don't plan on going through the main story that far.
Right, that makes sense.
And then I won't get the speech bobblehead. That's in Paradise Falls, and I have no need to interact with the slavers at this point.
Fair. Some other people are doing that enough for all of us.
Yeah. And so, yeah, my character is maxed out very good. My karma is over 1,000 positive.
Yeah, a lot of the crew, I mean, we'll hear from some in their feedback today, but the couple that have Write Your Own Path, Fallout 3 just tends to the good, unless you're out there killing and eating too many people. or being a
never know.
klepto across the wasteland. Yeah, it's you're going to trend towards the good.
Yeah.
Even keeping neutral can be rough.
So, so I hadn't really intended on leveling up as much as I did. Because one of the things, so the Anchorage DLC can be a great DLC to do at extremely low level.
Because it'll really boost you with the gear and such.
Yeah, because you get all those unbreakable weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I mean, I'm level 14, and the only thing I'm really looking forward to is the General Sword. So,
okay, well, which general?
Something.
Yeah, it's not General So's, and it's not General Chow's from Fallout 4.
Right. Jingwei. Yeah.
That's he's talking in Operation Anchorage, right? Yep. Yeah, because you're melee, and that makes perfect sense.
Couple of questions. If the repair bobblehead in Fallout 3 behaves aptly and actually repairs items, what is the bobblehead that makes your energy, your fuels, your power cell last longer in Fallout 3?
There isn't one.
Oh, Ray, that's not what I want to hear. Also, next question. Seems like one of the main problems with trying to run an evil character is that the structure of the quests are set up so that when you do something for people, you're doing good things, generally.
More than not.
Do they stripped out the karma meter out of the more recent Fallout games, but in this old one, do they have to like add an alt ending option at the end of quests where you can, instead of give the item to the person who wanted it, you keep it for yourself or something? Like, do they do that?
Yeah, there are karma impacting
endings. They write that in.
Yep.
Okay, because I was thinking that's part of the issues. Like, all the quests are set up where you help people and you do good things and you go and but and I don't want to, of course, interact with the type of person who would do this, of course. But as an evil character, will I want to help the slavers or whatever? Can I bring them slaves and such? Is there like a quest for that?
Oh, you definitely can.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah, there's even a weapon you can use to capture them.
I think, didn't Will do that with one or two characters last week?
I don't know if he's gotten the Mesmetron yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know he rescued those kids, but I thought for some reason that he actually led some of them back too without realizing the impact of his character, without realizing what was going to happen. I don't know.
Some of the negative karma completions are as simple as just asking for caps instead of doing the helpful thing out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's lots of opportunities for that. So many dialogues have, okay, maybe, but you better make it worth my while. Or, what you going to give me if I give that to you? There's a lot of quid pro quo in the dialogue.
Yeah, and so that'll give you the negative karma.
Understood. Another, sorry, I don't want to interrupt your gameplay. You still got gameplay you want to mention there, Ray? Cutting in on you.
No, I think we covered just about everything. I've picked up a few interesting weapons. So, I've been running with the Stab Happy, but then also I've added the Vampire's Edge when I did the Rusty Station. I got a a named sniper rifle. And at this point, I can't even remember where I picked it up. Called the Reservist's Rifle. And it doesn't break as fast and it fires faster, but it doesn't have as many shots. So
ooh, that's a terrible combination. Fewer shots and fires faster. That just means I'm going to be reloading constantly. Ugh. I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah. I think
Gotta
that
take
has
quick
a
hands.
fixed location. Again, up on the north side of the map. It looks like it might be the Dickerson Tabernacle Chapel.
yes. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was some
if you went there.
Yeah, it was a guy that was up in the rafters.
Okay. That's a good sniper rifle for sure.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. So now you're sneaky and you got your sniper rifle, even though you're doing more melee.
Yeah.
You have the option.
What's the deliverer in Fallout 3? What's the super solid handgun?
I don't know. The only silenced one I know is the silenced 10 millimeter. You can get one of those off of Mr. Burke. There's a couple of good pistols, but they're not silenced like the Deliverer, and they're not like super low AP with a lot of shots.
The concept of legendary items, from what you guys are describing, it just seems like the named ones have buffs, but as they're are there
there's no legendary
furious
system.
Okay. It's like you're not going to get a furious shotgun drop ever.
No, but some of the named weapons have added effects on them. Poisoning, burning, shock.
Right. Sort of the elemental buffs you see, right? Okay.
But
It's been a few years since I played, and I'm not quite as far along as you guys. So
yeah, and I don't. So I've never really used power armor. I know there is a really good set of power armor,
isn't it?
That you can get in Anchorage.
Isn't it super end game in Fallout 3, and that's why they put it right up front in Fallout 4?
Well, I think it was mainly because you have to get training to be able to use it.
And that's why that was the big deal in Fallout 4, is that you could just hop right into it without
having to know how to use power armor.
Without science perks and training and blah blah blah. Right.
Makes a big difference. And I mean, as we saw, Fallout 1 and 2 supposedly have the same thing. 3, in New Vegas, you had to. Well, not that you were able to in New Vegas exactly, but yeah, it was not until 4 the power armor became for every man and every soldier, which, some people still object to, and you can't blame them. I do feel like there really should have been a difference or a benefit or a perk. Sorry, this is going completely off on a tangent, but for Fallout 4 to keep it consistent with the idea that you needed a certain level of training for power armor. It was a little bit too usable.
Yeah.
And they also put the famous end game bad guy, the Death Claw, right up front in Fallout 4 too,
Talk about front loading. I mean, there is a kind of storytelling device that you get with some games and certainly movies and stories where, you see a little bit in the future and you see yourself that you're powerful and you realize, at the higher level character, hey, this is what I'm aiming for. This is the goal. This is what it'll feel like. And it gives you something to shoot for. That's very cool. But yeah, they give you that up front in Fallout 4, but then you keep the power armor. So it's not quite the same device.
Yeah,
you need to find cores for it. But
you get the flash forward, but they don't make you go back again.
Yeah. The only thing is, the first time you play the game, you might not understand how the cores work. So, you might have to let it sit back at Sanctuary for a while.
Why am I going so slowly? What's that flashing red light in the corner? Jess, you said you're
Yes.
taking. Sorry, Ray. What?
I was just going to say, looking forward to going to Anchorage.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I can't wait either. I got a little bit to go, but I'm excited for next week and hopping into that because that has been the longest.
Jess, I remembered why I was asking about your PC or Xbox. You said you're taking lots of pictures. What's your method of doing that? Do you just turn off your UI and
Yeah, turn off the HUD. You go in there and you go to your settings and you UI visibility 0 and crosshair off. Actually, I'm playing with the crosshair off most of the time, which isn't the best, but at least that way I don't need to remember to turn it on and off. So I'm just playing with the crosshair off, and then I'm playing with even the UI off some, unless I'm in a bad situation. Because when you get low health, you hear the heartbeat and the screen gets a bit red, and you know you're in big trouble. I mean, by then it's usually too late, and the Myok's about to kill you. But
Well, from what you guys were saying last week or a couple weeks ago, it sounds like the crosshairs don't even help you, even if you do put them on the target anyway. So you might as well not even.
they help you with
use it.
items and other things. Like they do help
picking
even with the
stuff up.
guns.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not iron sights. Like you can't do the thing where boom, the gun's in the middle of the screen and you're aiming down the sights and stuff like you expect. But when you click left trigger to aim and you're using that as a focus, it's still semi-accurate.
It
It's
zooms
not
a little bit. Yeah, but
super
you're still using the dot to point it.
definitely helps. Yeah, for me, it's more like if I'm going to sit in a chair and there's no crosshair. It's takes a little practice, but I do okay. It's
been-
worth it to not have a stupid dot in the middle of your pictures by accident.
It's been
Because
a-
your brain tunes it out.
Been a struggle trying to be a big guns character early on. Been defaulting
Yeah.
back to melee just because I never have any flamer fuel or anything yet.
Well, what about your character? What are you working on right now?
Oh, well, if you follow me along at all, you would know that I've been recording an album pretty much all month long, and I finally finished that one last night, sent it off, got it all completed and submitted. But that means I was up till 2 or 3 in the morning every night, which I know Jess is like, yeah, so what? But that's late for old man me, and I was just like up late every night working on the album, getting it, the mixing is the drag part of it for me. Like I like writing, I like recording, just like the sort of technical stuff later. It's just like that's the part I'm not quite as good at. I just need more practice, I guess. But so I got that album written and sent off and everything, and but that also means that sacrificed most of my game playing time. Did not get much gaming in at all this week. I played Shelter a couple times. When I turned on my character this afternoon, I was standing at Raven Rock, and that's the place where I left last week. If you remember, we were talking about Raven Rock. So that's I literally played 0 Fallout 3 this week until this afternoon, where I fast traveled back to Megaton just to see what was up, and I decided to embrace the evil karma stuff.
Yeah, you did.
I ended up killing Moira in
No,
her
you didn't.
her shop, and some guy who was standing there with her.
Your security guard.
You didn't. You did?
Yeah. And it said I failed the book quest. It said Moira will never be able to write her book. Quest failed. And I'm like, I
You
don't
are
care.
more powerful than an atomic bomb, Andrew. Like that bomb going off doesn't kill Moira, but you did.
Well, I was expecting everyone in the town to be pissed off, but you walk out the door and no one cares. I would expect the townies to all be
All witnesses.
super mad
one
about
saw.
it. Yeah. Well, I guess
Nobody saw.
if I killed both of the people in there, then I guess you're right. I didn't even think about the witness thing, so they wouldn't know yet. Okay. All right.
Unless
So I
there
was
was
confused about that.
Okay, I thought you were suggesting that maybe they were all happy that Moira was dead.
Well, that too. She is a fucking weirdo. So
They love her. She is the inventor. She helps keep the town running.
everyone loves her. But
And
anyway,
you're just lucky. There wasn't a roach in the roach hallway spying on you.
I'd prefer the rat roach hallway, please. So this is what I was going to ask you earlier, Ray, and Jess. When we were talking about karma, this thought popped into my head after I'd killed Moira, and I took like everything in her inventory at once, and then I went around the room and emptied out the items, taking everything out of the containers at once. I got about halfway around the room before I realized, oh wait, slow down. Let's see what happens if I take one item at a time and back out of the menu each time, and I get that karma message each time. But I didn't actually go and look at the numbers, so I'm wondering if you take 8 items at once, do you still only get 1 negative karma, or do you get this? If I take it 8 times, 1 item each time, do I get 8 times the same for the same interaction?
I think it's each individual one, because you can't pick up a whole container at one time.
So it'll count each.
I can
go ahead and take
it
all
sees
of them.
it as taking each item
8 different okay.
individually. Even if you don't exit out and go back in, exit out and go back in.
Cool. All right.
It sees each item there as a separate thing.
And I haven't even looked at the karma meter. Is it like the rate exactly like the radiation meter? Like it counts up and down to 1,000?
No, I don't think it shows at all.
Oh, we don't have an indication of it anywhere?
It just tells you, what your standing is.
There's certainly a mod for that.
Oh, there's a console command.
All right. Yeah, so I'm trying to embrace the evil thing and doing this sassy or smartass or, fuck you remarks type thing. You know what I mean? Whenever that's available, trying to embrace the bad guy. And like I mentioned last week, I'm doing my main test whenever I run into someone is, are you essential? And what I found out is most of these people don't take a knee. I was surprised when Moira died. I was like,
the majority of them will die.
Yeah. The majority will die.
Yeah.
The more
you know. So I mean, if you look on your Pit Boy, it'll tell you it'll probably say that you're very evil.
Well,
and so that's kind of where you want to keep it. If you see yourself slipping into just plain old evil, then you're going to have to ramp it up and get yourself back to very evil.
Yeah, if you get down to diet evil, that's no good. No,
sugar,
you need
Pepsi evil free.
Full body, full sugar evil all the way. Absolutely rich.
Absolutely. Also, I just wanted to see what a radiation death was like. So I just went and stood by the bomb in the little puddle. I saved before, and I don't know why. I was just like, because it feels like it's just different how you absorb the radiation. I don't know how to describe it, but in Fallout 4 and 76 seemed very similar. The Fallout 3, it was just like the rate is different. Like, I don't even know how to explain it.
I was talking about that the first week. It does feel different. The fact you get those different thresholds of damage, that it's actually literally penalizing your character. Like on a 4 and 76, you just see the orange bar.
Yeah,
you feel like you're in control of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have that many negative effects. But in 3, not only are you not aware of it all the time, unless you actually seek it out and look, but it causes negative effects from 200 on.
Yeah, it's like diseases, right? I mean, it has negative effect on our specials or other skills.
You see your little Pit Boy character, and he's very unhappy and losing his hair.
He has a sad face.
Oh, it's so sad.
He's pointing to his broken head.
At one of the levels, it starts to reduce your endurance, which cuts down your
hit points. That's bad.
Which speeds up your death.
Yep. That's bad. So that's pretty much my gameplay. I did pop on Shelter, and I'm up to 20 dwellers that have finished school, and they're all maxed out. But I'm still fucking waiting on the Endurance 7 plan for that outfit, so I can't let any of these people level up. They're all level 1 still, just sort of wandering around the vault, just waiting on someone else to bring back the plan so that they can get out there and start leveling up.
10s across the board, gold medal vault dwellers.
So the last thing I wanted to do right here during my gameplay is every RPM when I'm writing songs, ever since I've been doing this podcast, I've been trying to toss in a Radiation or Fallout themed song. So I just wanted to go ahead and play that one that I had written this year. So here it is, the world premiere of Red Queen Hypothesis's Radiation song for the 2024 RPM Challenge. This is Cooling Rods and Atom Bombs.
Hold on to the feeling's gone. Stay up till the day is done. Prepare for the setting sun radiation. Stars shine up the clear lane, absorbing the gamma rays. Northern lights bombarded wave radiation. Iodine and cesium radiation. Drop cooling rods and atom bombs radiation. Redecorate with gamma rays radiation. Deionize with glowing skies radiation. Stars shine up the clear lane, absorbing the gamma rays. Northern lights bombarded with radiation. Hold on to the feeling's gone. Stay up till the day is done. Prepare for the setting sun radiation. Leak iodine and cesium radiation. Drop cooling rods and atom bombs radiation. Redecorate with gamma rays radiation. Deionize with glowing skies radiation. Leak iodine and cesium radiation. Drop cooling rods and atom bombs radiation. Redecorate with gamma rays radiation. Deionize with glowing skies radiation. Leak iodine and cesium radiation. Drop cooling rods and atom bombs radiation. Redecorate with gamma rays radiation. Deionize with glowing skies radiation.
So that's what I've been doing instead of playing video games.
Nice.
That is the 18th album I have submitted to the RPM Challenge, 18 years in a row, and the 33rd album released by my band Red Queen Hypothesis.
Does that include the greatest hits albums and such?
No, I don't think so. It's a greatest hits. What hits?
I mean,
what are you talking about?
I think a lot of us have favorites who've listened. Definitely. I love them. That was great.
Greatest
I
hits
also
album.
like the fact that that was the song that you were picking your titles from. Deionize the glowing skies, redecorate with gamma rays, all from that song.
Yeah, and there were lines from the same song and actually from the same chorus, back-to-back lines. I was like, I always go through and I'm writing these songs and I find like my favorite phrase or word from the song to be the title of the song. But then after all the songs are titled, I go back and look through all of the lyrics and everything and find like a cool phrase or word for the title of the album. I generally don't like it to be the name of a song on the album. I generally like it to be just a different phrase or something. So it kind of stinks that you sacrifice like maybe a cool sounding album title because the song takes priority of getting the cooler name. I've thought maybe I need to rearrange that priority and like name the song the secondary one and have the album have the cooler name or whatever. But anyway, Andrew's stupid music philosophy 101. Here we go. So that was Cooling Rods and Atom Bombs. Cooling Rods and Atom Bombs. All right, we got a lot of feedback to get into. This is a feedback episode after all, so why don't we go ahead and to roll into some. Jess, who do we got up first here?
So first up for feedback, we have Nana Janet.
Nana. I like to say Nana.
Hi all, it's Nana. Well, I didn't get a whole lot of 3 in. Basically, I didn't get any in this week. As everyone knows, we had Foshnok. And I played a lot of Foshnok. The most 76 I've played in quite a while. I also had Fossil Saw's kid start his first character in 76. So I spent a lot of time playing with him also. Hopefully getting back into 3 this week, and I'll have some real feedback for you in a couple weeks. Have fun. See you in the wasteland.
Officially the shortest feedback ever submitted to the Fallout feed.
I am not sure. We might have had 40 seconds before, but that was also some of the best feedback. We now have 3 generations of the family playing Fallout together.
Playing Fallout hand in hand. Oh, it's so beautiful. Such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, when Sarah was telling me that he was playing, I'm like, oh, really? 76? That's amazing. So that's awesome.
She should have made him start at the beginning. If you're going to introduce someone to this series, you got to keep in mind, graphics and stuff matter. Where are you telling them to start?
So start at Fallout 1 like you did, Andrew? That's what you're saying?
I started at 1.
Oh, wait.
No, I'm just asking you if where do you have someone start at 4 if you introduce them to the series?
I would normally recommend, unless they'd been gaming for a while and had a good tolerance for different levels of graphics and such, then maybe 3 or New Vegas would be a great place to start. But otherwise, for most modern gamers just discovering Fallout, I'd recommend starting with 4. Usually, I feel like it's an easier transition. If they played Skyrim, especially, they'll be used to it. It'll feel normal.
But really, if you have a brand new, completely new player, you have the opportunity to start chronologically.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be 76.
There you go. Yeah, starting on the timeline. That's a great way to play. It's like when you say, oh, you want to watch Star Wars? You have to start with the prequels. That's the right way to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Shelter might be before 76 if you think about it, because people are just coming into the vault, so the event has just happened.
Well, we
No,
don't
but
really
the
have
bomb
the
never
timeline.
drops. Yeah. Shelter's an outlier because there is no bomb drop.
Yeah, you're taking
I
me to
assume
wasteland refugees.
that these. Oh yeah, they're wasteland refugees, not people who signed up for the vault. I guess. Well,
Also, we have an
Can you
update.
make it in your brain so that they're, people who signed up with Vault Tech, and you're coming to your vault. Like,
You
I
could,
don't know.
but yeah, that's not how I ever looked at it because once you get out there doing the quests, you've already got some established locations. You've already got a lot of mutated creatures. But we do have an update from chat that he has played all the way through 4 already. So not a brand new player. Started with 4.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
Mhm.
Old news snoozers. But,
Hello, welcome to 76.
But the 3 generations thing is totally beautiful. That's great.
I love it. Warms my heart.
All right. Who we got up next here?
Next up, we have Suliore with some feedback.
Attaboy. Oh wait, I forgot this.
Hello, fellow Sanders here, Suliore here, and I'm here to give you an update on what I've been up to in Fallout 3 lately. It's kind of like what Jess said, where most of my gameplay time has been dedicated toward Baldur's Gate, although I've also been playing a lot of Fallout 76 with the Fastnacht going on. Don't know how many freaking parades I did and didn't get one glowing mask, but anyway, that's another story. Most of my gameplay has been streamed since the last feedback, but I had kind of a plan for it. So after my last feedback, I had it in mind to go to Vault 112 and get that taken care of. And so I wanted to go there for a couple of reasons. Of course, to keep going with the main story, but with the photo challenge that Jess has had going on, I wanted to get some pictures of Tranquility Lane for T-Day. And today's the last day for that, and I gotta say, I'm kind of sad that the photo challenge is now over because I've had a lot of fun participating in it. So I went through Tranquility Lane and pointed out to the audience that Wendy is actually whistling the failsafe code to go through the simulation and not go and do what Dr. Braun wants you to do by punching kids and just causing chaos with everybody that's trapped in there. So in the end, I did the failsafe. Everybody was killed by the Chinese invasion, which, is kind of sad, but it's kind of a mercy because these people have been trapped in this simulation for over 200 years. And after Tranquility Lane, I wanted to go visit the Gary Vault, because that's only something that I'd done once before, but it's so iconic with Fallout 3. So I went west to Canterbury Commons, and then from there to Vault 108, and cleared out the Gary Vault, and got the bobblehead there. And then I thought, hey, I've never actually visited Canterbury Commons properly, so went down to Canterbury Commons, and there's this big superhero battle that was apparently going on that I didn't actually witness, and everybody was acting like I did witness it. And there's the battle between the Mechanist and the Antagonist, and the people were acting like the Mechanist was this big hero, which kind of confuses me coming off of Fallout 4. I've never really visited Canterbury Commons before. And so I wanted to talk to both of them before I made a decision. So I went to talk to the Mechanist, and the Mechanist is locked behind these doors that I couldn't get through. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Went to talk to the Antagonist, and they were much easier to get to. And they wanted me to take out the Mechanist for them. So I was like, okay, I can't. So I'm just going to kill you. And it's interesting because I pulled out my shish kebab, and the pomp and circumstance behind the Antagonist's voice changed, and she sounded like a normal person, which made me wonder if this was all for show. Don't have an answer for that, and because there's no terminals or anything. So I just went and finished the quest, and after that went to do something else that I had never done before, and that was go visit Oasis. Anytime I've played Fallout 3 before, I just stuck to the main quest, essentially. I mean, I did a few side quests before, like the ants, the fire-breathing ants. I've done stuff like that before, and done parts of the survival guide before, but I'd never really explored the map, aside from downtown DC. So I went up to Oasis and talked to the cultists there, because that's essentially what they are, and then talked to Harold. And Harold just wanted to die. He gives you his story. He talks about how he stumbled into Mariposa with his friend Bob, and he and Bob essentially became merged into one entity. And he loves giving Bob crap, which I thought was hilarious. And he tells you that he wants to die. And which made me worried, because I was like, okay, the cultists are going to just lose their shit and kill me as soon as I come back after killing him. But there are other things that you can do, which kind of brings into a moral aspect into this, because you can exacerbate his mutation and essentially revitalize the wasteland with what's going on with him, or you can halt it and just keep it from spreading. But Harold has lived like this for who knows how long, rooted in place, surrounded by people who don't listen to a damn word that he says. Like he'll tell them what he wants, and they take it as some big greater meaning, and he's hiding what he's saying behind by something straightforward. All he wants is for it to end. So that's what I did. I went down underneath and found his heart and killed him. And I come back, and they were actually what the hell was the guy's name? All the people there are named after different types of wood. Like there's maple, there's birch, that's who it was. Cedar, I think, is another cypress. But I went and talked to Birch, and he realized that he wasn't paying attention properly to what Harold was saying. So he apologized for his part in all that, and that was it. So after that, I went down to Tenpenny Tower and talked to Roy Phillips, and that's where I'm at now. It's only Tuesday. Who said the week is out? It's only Tuesday. That is where I'm at now, so this might be a little outdated by the time of the show, but that is where I'm currently at. So until next time, I will see everybody in the wasteland.
How dare you be outdated? We need your fresh ideas.
He's working hard to keep it close to 5 minutes. So, you got to save some of that. You got to save some of that goodness, just like the iguana bits, for next time.
Can you imagine if we got the special features of the what hits the cutting room floor of Eric's feedback?
I think it's like that for a lot of people. Lee too, and other people, especially if they write it out and edit it down. There's a lot to it.
Oh my
God!
So Will has a fucking library that has hit the cutting room floor. I guarantee.
He does. He tries to trim. He tries to trim. But no, they've both been really good this season. Someone was joking that, Will's on partly that way he doesn't need to worry about his feedback time. but even the stuff he's written out has only been 6 or 7 minutes. So that's great. People keeping it to reasonable length. I mean, obviously we want to hear all of it. He talked about Oasis a bit. That whole quest, that's one of those ones that really, I think, has a lasting impact. There are a lot of good quests in Fallout 3. But getting all the way up to Oasis and meeting Harold again and the different resolutions there, that has such a major impact on the wasteland after you go. Especially if you encourage, Harold's overgrowth and the discovery of the Grove, and you finish the main story. It really greens it up quite a bit.
Yeah? Does it take away radiation? Does he absorb any of the radiation and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, well, if you think about it, within the area that he covers, as greenery grows and the land becomes healthier, I would assume
Neat.
that maybe he does absorb some radiation. I don't remember if that's actually discussed, though. I haven't played
that-
the quest myself this playthrough.
Does it just stick around the general area of his location there, or does it actually spread over the whole map and everything?
It's around the general area, but that's kind of the idea of the quest, that you can either harden Harold's heart to like stop his growth and limit it. That way Oasis won't be discovered and he's a little bit healthier. You can side with Harold and, destroy his heart, which will kill him. Or you can do with, I think is it Tree Mother Laurel? Leaf Mother Laurel. Leaf Mother Laurel and give like the liniment salve on him. That's what accelerates the growth so that it then spreads beyond Oasis and greens up more of the area.
Oh, that's fun. And he mentioned all the characters that are named after trees. Is there a sycamore in there?
There might be. I don't remember who's the kid.
That's our tree here in Indiana. All right. Thank you for the feedback, Mr. Eric Suliore, sir. Our good buddy Leon has submitted some feedback. We haven't heard from Leon in a good long while. Leon, it is super good to hear from you, sir, and I'd like to bid you a good day.
Good day, this is Leon from Texas with my feedback for Winter. So after meeting Moira, she talks to her and tells her about Necropolis. She had heard about it, but she hadn't visited. Then she heads down, she picks up the Sergeant Gutsy. Finally managed to get enough caps to do that. I have my room in Tenpenny Tower. I believe it's the science look. It might be the vault look, I can't remember. But one of the looks of the themes that you can buy gives you several motorcycle gas tanks and handbrakes and a couple other things you can use to build the different schematics. So it's a good one. I've managed to acquire the laboratory, the doctor unit, and now with Sergeant Gutsy, I also have my robot butler. So I have two robot companions. Well, one butler and one companion. And I'm never journeyed with Sergeant Gutsy before. I think I got his name wrong, but either way. So this will be a first. I tend to either go really good or really bad, so neutral is not something I've normally run. So he's never been a companion I've ever been able to handle. I'm still playing Winter as being... She understands mentally that ghouls were once human now. So she's trying to be better, but she just... I'm playing her as a speciesist or a racist, whatever you want to call it, where she just doesn't like ghouls. Straight up. She has found Rivet City. She skipped the whole 3-dog thing by the quest for Moira to go to Rivet City, and then while she was there, she was talking to Lee and happened to ask about her dad and sort of skipped that whole area. I did turn Harkness over to the Zimmer, the Simmer guy, because, he's just not human. Again, speciesist, racist. So I'm heading to Vault 112 at some point, hopefully this week or next week, to try to get a little bit further in the main quest before we go to Anchorage. And I'm still playing Survival of the Fittest. I have Cannibal, Fast Metabolism, and I have pretty much all the perks I needed to get because I got rid of Swift Learner. My lockpicking and repair are currently at 100. My energy weapons are at 85. And now I'm bumping up small guns because I picked up a named shotgun, the Terrible Shotgun. I can't remember where I got it, but I picked it up and I'm really liking it. I freed Red and the other guy and escorted them back to Big Town, and I'm currently dating Bittercup, theoretically. So that's interesting. My character's kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Other than that, I'll see you in the Wasteland.
Awesome. Thank you. Leon, been good to hear from you, sir. Always enjoy that. He mentioned Necropolis. Is that the same one from Fallout 1?
No.
What's going on?
No, very
there?
different.
Okay. Very cool. Anyway, it's great to have Leon back on with us. Love to hear from you, Leon, sir. Thank you for continuing us with your adventures. Very nice. Next up, we have Vanessa. What is going on, Vanessa?
Hi, Fallout Feed. This is Vanessa, just checking in with an update on my lone wanderer, Ellie, who's been struggling a little bit on her recent adventures through the wasteland, trying to come to terms with the dog-eat-dog nature of the new world that she's found herself in. So here we go. As angry as Ellie was with her dad, she was, apart from dog meat, alone in this strange new world. She decided to push forward in her search. With the errand she'd run for the citizens of Megaton, Ellie was feeling confident enough to tackle the DC ruins, despite being warned to stay away from them. Her confidence was not misplaced, and she made it through to Galaxy News Radio mostly unscathed. Having heard Three Dog recounting her actions in the wasteland on his show, she expected a warmer welcome, and was somewhat surprised that his help came at such a high price. After facing down what seemed like endless super mutants, it was a battered and bruised lone wanderer who returned to the radio station, only to be told that her dad had headed to Rivet City. Really? So she just needed to head to another location and rinse and repeat the same wild goose chase. Ellie felt a rising anger, not just at Three Dog, but at everyone who had hampered her progress since leaving the vault. Conscious of the heavily armed and armoured soldiers just outside, she forced down the urge to introduce the DJ to the business end of a shish kebab, settling instead for storming out after calling him out for fighting the good fight from the safety of his well-guarded building. With revenge on her mind, she headed back to Minefield and to Arkansas, remembering the pot shots he'd taken at her and the cars he'd blown up in front of her on her first visit. Back then, fresh from the vault, she'd simply grabbed what she needed for Moira and ran. But she was stronger now, sneakier, savvier, and better armed. Arkansas met a fiery end, followed on her return to Megaton by Moriarty. A few days later, Ellie travelled to Rivet City to Dr. Madison Lee, who couldn't seem to decide whether she wanted to help her or berate her for inconveniencing Project Purity with her birth. Dr. Lee seemed to have a thing for James, and Ellie wondered how hard she'd actually tried to save her mother, but pushed the thought aside. She had enough to deal with. She was warned against continuing her search for her father at the Jefferson Memorial, as the area was simply too dangerous. Ellie reviewed her limited options. She really needed better equipment if she was to try and face anything worse than she already had. While clearing out the mall on her way to the Washington Monument, she had picked up a distress signal outside the National Archives from a group of rangers trapped on top of a hotel, and, as she mulled over the possibility of following up on this lead, she was approached by a Dr. Zimmer from the Institute regarding hunting down a missing android. Both of these avenues proved fruitful. After deciding that the android, Harkness, was more trustworthy than the mysterious Institute, and after a tough fight through to the besieged Rangers, Ellie was now equipped with a plasma rifle and Ranger battle armour. She checked the armour thoroughly for the remains of its previous owner before wearing it. Someone had to uphold basic hygiene standards in the wasteland. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. I guess the little revenge mission is probably a bit out of character for my sort of kid, good, well-behaved, helpful kid, but it just seemed, it seemed to fit with the lack of help she's getting from everyone she's encountering. I just want to talk quickly about a couple of perks that I've taken. I forgot to mention last time, I think, that my assigned perks are fast metabolism, chemist, and solar powered. So I can't take any of those quite yet. I think level 12 is when the first one becomes available, and I'm at level 10 at the moment. With not picking up the armour that I've been looting, I have taken the toughness perk just to try and help with the armour situation. So I've had to leave behind quite a few sets of Talon mercenary armour, which is a bit galling. I'm still in the armoured vault suit, and it was really tough going through the Riley's Rangers quest. I was getting through a lot of stim packs there, so it was good to get the decent armour at the end of it. Energy weapons is one of my assigned skills, so I'm just trying to switch over to that. So I've also taken Scrounger just to try and help with the lack of ammo that I'm finding for those weapons at the moment. What else? Thanks to Will also for mentioning that repair mod. I will check that out at the weekend. It kind of sounds ideal. I have been thinking that I quite like the idea of a repair mechanic, but it really makes more sense, I think, to me that you can just patch up armour with bits of scrap, so I'll definitely check that one out. I think that's it, to be honest. I've been enjoying the melee. It's not a style I usually play in, but I think, the shish kebab, I think it may be the fire and the little cinematic scenes you get with it. It's been quite a lot of fun. So I'll almost be sorry to leave that behind to switch over to the energy weapons, but that's where I am. So I'm at level 10, just finished Moira's second chapter as well, so just a good place, I think, to start the DLC for the next feedback session. So, yep, thanks for listening, and take care, everyone. Bye.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Good to hear from you again. I was thinking during her feedback, part of the emotional heaviness of the game is established because it is in the nation's capital that has tons of, like, you know, nostalgic emotional significance to the
Americans.
Yeah, exactly. Is that law? I mean, why do they get any less out of the experience than we would?
That's a really good question, something I'd like to hear. I mean, obviously, we have any number of international players, and I think that the idea of a capital is universal enough, and certainly, the American capital is in enough movies that there might be some import, but you're right.
Right.
I bet there would be less, It's not like Tower of London coming down or something like that. I mean,
right.
I guess it would have different emotional impact.
Well, turn it on its ear. Have you played games that take place in other real live, replicated places, cities around London or anything like that?
Not yet.
You played Chernobyl, Ray, right? Stalker, whatever.
Yeah, and it takes place in the. It's definitely realistic. Scenes very much like this is for the U.S. Capitol,
right?
But I think a lot of it. So I don't know if there's any unique nostalgia for the area around Pripyat, where the big Ferris wheel and all that kind of stuff was.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just sort of like a pop-up city because of the power plant,
Right. But I think that, because I graphically remember the Chernobyl accident, when it was on the news and all that, it, that part of it still had an impact on me. And it wasn't necessarily, it wasn't like it was the Kremlin,
right,
or anything like that.
And it wasn't home either. It was just, right, no. So, okay. So you can totally get an emotional impact.
Yeah, it just might be slightly different. When it comes to Fallout games and other games, people always have that extra emotional connection when it's with a city that they know or are familiar with. For instance, when, with Fallout 4 in Boston and in Maine. For me, but plenty of other people as well who are Bostonians, and people from, California talk about how that means more to them, or from Vegas, or from the capital. So I do think there's an extra level there beyond what you're talking about the whole patriotic thing. Like, everyone gets that boost if they know the area. Games like that recreate, like LA Noire, or places that recreate a city you live in, seem to always have impact. But yeah. I guess it is more universal because we recognize those symbols and we can identify. But it would probably be a little different. So Ellie did a lot. Obviously, she mentions switching over to energy weapons as an assigned perk next. So I started energy weapons because I had that from the beginning. And after I put down my baseball batter on level 3 and tried to switch mostly to energy weapons, while I'm still using regular ones that I'm not proficient with. I do find that a lot of vendors have way more energy cells than I would have expected. So that's been a good source for me, is that whenever I'm buying and selling, energy cells are the one thing that I trade everything for. When I sell, all the cram and fancy lads and all the random stuff ends up in my inventory.
There are the items in Fallout 3 level locked like they are in Fallout 4, like how all of a sudden you all of the double barrel shotguns magically turn into a combat shotgun when your character hits level 15 or whatever. It's like, do they have that sort of threshold system in Fallout 3 where You get different weapon drops and stuff like that? Your bad guys step up levels and such?
It doesn't seem to level up that much, does it, Ray? I don't think that there is a level system when it comes to gear.
Yeah, not in gear. There are with enemies.
Do the raiders go from like relentless to chaotic and whatever different step ups?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
They do. Okay.
Yeah, not in the same way. Not in the same way that they do in 4 when you see, the change names and levels and all that coming in, or certainly Oblivion. Like, keep in mind, this was right after Oblivion where they got in a lot of trouble for the way they were handling leveling. So it took a slightly different tack, I think, here. But Ellie also did, let's see, Riley's Rangers and The Replicated Man. A couple of great quests. So she's made it pretty far doing some cool quests. I always think of Riley's Rangers as a quest I save for when I'm higher level, just because that's what I did my first playthrough. And so I can get a little bit nervous about going there too early. But I've heard from a couple people that they're doing that. Also, Lee mentioned in chat when we were talking about Necropolis earlier, I might have been talking about Underworld and the ghouls. So maybe that was called it Necropolis, but talking about Underworld.
Yeah, and as far as not looting armor off of people, it seems to me that Vault 106, when I went through that, there was a lot of armor in cabinets. None of the insane survivors were wearing anything other than vault suits.
Ray just found a loophole for you there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have to imagine that if you find it in a cabinet, there wouldn't be any issue with taking that. It's not,
Spoils of war, Ray. Spoils of war. All right. Who do we have? Sorry, I was trying to look up the schedule, seeing what we're getting.
Absolutely. Well, we've got Matt up next, Calm Horizons, with some feedback.
Awesome. Let's check in with Calm Horizons.
Hello, my favorite Fallout folks. This is Matt. I am Calm Horizons on the Discord, and with me again is Nikki. Say hi, Nikki.
Hi.
And I'm going to continue with the misadventures of Sterling. So last time I had gotten the quest from Three Drog to go to the Museum of Freedom, but I wasn't ready to do that. And so I went to Tenpenny Tower. So get there and see what's going on with Roy Phillips and all the people in the tower, and go down into the subway to talk to Roy Phillips, and he explains that he wants to let the feral ghouls in to just kill everybody in the building. And that didn't sound great, but he explained that the only reason that the people that are living there now are living there is because they drove out the people who were there before. That's a pretty compelling argument to me. Still don't want to kill anybody, but yeah. So head back to the tower and get to talk to Alistair Tenpenny, and he explains that he's not opposed to the idea necessarily, but I just need to convince these 5 specific people. And so, okay, all right. So I go and start finding these people and talk to them, and as soon as I start talking to them, I understand what Roy Phillips is talking about, because these are the biggest jerks in the world. Woof. So I'm trying to figure out how to convince them to leave, and I can't. The only thing that it seems like I can do is the speech check. So I just start save scumming the speech checks because I don't know what else to do. And I get through 3 of them, and I can't find the other 2 people. And so I end up Googling it. Where are the Wellingtons? And I found out where they are, but also when I Googled, I found out about the love letter that Mr. Wellington wrote to one of the other bigots, the flirty woman. And so if you go and find this love letter and give it to Mrs. Wellington, she pulls out a pistol and murders her husband, and then goes and murders the flirty woman, and then walks herself out of the building and goes and gets herself killed out in the wasteland. And so that's 3 out of the 5 taken care of just like that. And when I found that out and did all that, because that's awesome, I felt really guilty. I had a lot of regret about save scumming the speech checks, because I feel like there's a pretty good chance that there were other fun ways to deal with the other 2 people, and I just didn't find it. But oh well. So took care of that. Hooray. After that, I decided to go to Rivet City because I was really tired of only having Moira as a vendor. I wanted more places to sell, more things to buy. And so I followed the river down to Rivet City. And while I was on the way, I came across the Jefferson Memorial, and my God, with the giant pipes and the scaffolding, like what on earth are they doing in this building? What is this here? But couldn't see any obvious way inside, at least not from the angle I was, and I wasn't heading to the Jefferson Memorial, so I decided I'm just going to put a pin in that and finish heading to Rivet City. Get there, and I'm exploring the city, and that's when I find Dr. Madison Lee, and I find out about my dad and what he's doing at Jefferson Memorial, and I realized that crap, I've just skipped main quest stuff, and I felt bad. So then I left and went to the Museum of Freedom, and that was actually not that big of a deal. Went through there, got the radio dish. The only real difficulty there was the Super Mutant Master that's at the end, but got through it. It was okay. Installed the dish. 3Dog was thrilled. So after that, I decided to do from the other feedbacks. It sounded like the Fire Ant quest would be a good one for me since I'm using the shish kebab. I wanted another plus to strength. So I did the Fire Ant quest. While I was in there, I found Grady's message.
That makes their heads explode?
No, that was the repellent stick. So while I was in there, I found Grady's message, and he's talking about his secret stash and how to find it. And so I found the key, and then I found the stash, and I get in there, and it's Naughty Nightwear. Like, this is the secret stash? What is this? And so, okay, whatever. And I'm looting the other boxes in the room, and I get totally jump scared by this raider named Lugnut that charges in and demands the Naughty Nightwear, by name, demands the Naughty Nightwear from me, or he's going to kill me. And I have my video game brain on, so I think, no, there's no way I'm going to give you this. And so I refuse, and he attacks me, and I kill him. But now, I really, really wish that I had given Lugnut the Naughty Nightwear that he was willing to kill me over, because that's just hilarious. Like, sure, dude, I'm not using it. Here's your... Anyway. So then I decided to do the Stealing Independence quest. And so I head to the mall, and I'm exploring around there, and I find Underworld, and finally in there I find the companion that I was assigned, Sharon. And so by his contract, for 1,000 caps, and he immediately walks over to the bartender that had his contract and blows his head off. And so I think, oh, maybe my 1,000 caps is on his dead body, but no such luck. So I take Sharon, and we head to the National Archives, and in there is Sydney, and Sydney is extremely suspicious to me. She was just way too helpful and knew everything about why I was there and how to get it and everything. It just seemed like such a setup. I was very much expecting a betrayal, but go with her down to the bottom of the archives and make it to the final room, and there's that Protectron in there named Button Gwinnett, and he explains that he can create a perfect forgery of the Declaration of Independence, and all I got to do is go to this whole other location to get this whole other thing, and I simply could not be bothered. So I just pulled out my shish kebab and chopped him up and destroyed the turrets and got the real Declaration of Independence and brought it back to Abraham Washington. And I got paid, and Sydney got paid, and there was no betrayal at all, and I was completely shocked. Anyway, so I am now level 9, and I still think that the gameplay in Fallout 4 is more fun, but I am very much enjoying the quests and the story and the characters, the world. Like, Fallout 3 is a lot more fun than I honestly expected it to be, and I'm, again, intimidated about everything, and so intimidated about starting the DLCs next time, but I'm level 9, almost 10, and I'm ready to see what Anchorage has in store for me. So thanks for this opportunity. See you in the Wasteland.
Uh-oh, another one. You guys are all level 9, level 10, level 15. Everyone, am I going to run into trouble going into Operation Anchorage at like 5, 6?
Are behind. But we'll be fine.
You can go into Anchorage at so much lower level
Yeah.
than what we are.
I said aim for 10, but I also said that's where you get the good gear and stuff. It's totally fine, and you'll get some levels while you're in there. That feedback, there was some great info there. And so he's talking about Lugnut, and I was joking about that last week too. There's a whole story about that Naughty Nightwear. First of all, that plus 10 speech. I mean, there's a reason why people don't want to give it up. You get extra luck and speech. Like, don't buy and sell without it, or at least try to convince people of things without it, actually, since it's separate in this game. But Lugnut has a brother, Lagbolt. They are both in the game, Lugnut and Lagbolt. And there's a couple sets of Naughty Nightwear because Lagbolt got some too. I think Lugnut special ordered them from Victoria's Secret or something and had them sent up. And the one got intercepted by Grady. And that's like there's a whole story behind it if you actually talk to Lagbolt and check the notes.
Yeah, and you're still not done with that Naughty Nightwear.
No, there's more to come.
If you go visit Girder Shade, there'll be more to come on that.
Yeah, you can actually help Ron Laren out and find out, the whole deal, because that's who Grady was holding it for, was trying to get it for Ron Laren. So, big story there.
I've got to say, so, Nikki's really coming around here. His hello is much more confident. He's inserting questions into the feedback.
It's true.
It's fabulous. Got to keep this up.
Yeah, that was a fantastic interjection. Also, you can take the guy out of the Fallout 4, but you can't take the Fallout 4 out of him because he called the Museum of Technology Museum of Freedom, which I thought was really cute. Perfect. And Sydney is so cool, isn't she?
That's funny.
Like, I just think Sydney is, she's one, there is a Sydney companion mod I might have mentioned before, that I feel like she's one of the cooler NPCs we don't get to play with. Like, she's tough, she's fun to adventure with, she's good with a gun.
Beautiful. All right, Matt, thank you so much. Coming up next, we have Jeff. And also, hey, I just want to give a shout out to Jeff because it was his birthday the other day. So happy birthday, Jeff.
Scorecation!
All right, Jeff, what's going on?
Hey, Fallout Feed. Jeff, a.k.a. Still Falling Back, to update you on Annie Wilkes. Last we heard from Annie, she was killing everybody in Megaton and then blowing it up from the balcony on Tempeti Tower. So she went from a somewhat normal character, somewhat nice woman, to extremely, extremely evil. So after last week, I played the hell out of the game. And like I said in my last feedback, I had to slow down. So I did. I was at a level like 16 or 17 last week. I am up to a level 19 now. So I did slow down, but there were a few things to note during my gameplay this week. Let's see. I finally made my way to Paradise Falls, which Annie, being the way she is now, was intrigued. She made good friends with Eula G. Jones right away. And then she bought the assigned follower, Clover. Clover was her assigned follower. Not even an hour later, we were outside of the Republic of Dave, and we were attacked by some rad scorpions, and Clover didn't make it. So I had her for about an hour. Oh, well.
Long enough.
Later, while scavenging the wasteland, I met a scavenger that had a pet Yalgwai, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I also met a friendly super mutant named Uncle Leo. Just west of Vault 101, I found a teddy bear in a shopping cart cage. Opened up the shopping cart to grab the teddy bear, and its owner was not too happy. Here comes a giant super mutant behemoth from the horizon and made short work of me. So I learned my lesson. Leave that shopping cart alone. Yeah, she's really started to embrace her evil side with some of the missions that we've been taking care of. She did take the Paradise Falls mission. I'm not sure what it was called, but to enslave the scum of the wasteland. Susan Lancaster was an easy target, but Flack I think might be a little bit more tough. But you know who was not a hard target to get? Brian Wilkes. Yes, after helping the little boy out with his problems, I gave him a new home and a new necklace. Sorry, Brian. But funny enough that I just now realized that Brian and Annie both have the same last name, Brian Wilkes. I wonder if Brian is in the Stephen King universe as well. Well, on that note, I'm out of here. I can't wait for next week. My wife has been bugging me for a trip to Alaska, so next week, here we come. Until then, I'll see you walking to Paradise Falls with a new slave collar around your neck.
Oh, no. I don't want that vacation. I don't think the Anchorage thing is real either, right? Isn't that a simulation as well?
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing is real anymore. Jeff, thank you so much for your feedback, sir. A couple things he mentioned. I haven't seen a Behemoth yet. That's cool that they're in 3. And then that, of course, makes me think, well, how far back did they go? I forget, did we see them in 1? I don't remember if we saw Behemoth in 1. Were they mentioned in a terminal or anything that you guys recall?
So we have them in 3 and obviously 4 and 76.
New Vegas?
Don't think. I don't know that there were any in New Vegas. They might have something to do with the strain of FEV that we have on the East Coast.
Because the Vegas ones
Understood.
were mostly Nightkin.
Right. And then, and then the Master Mutants who could talk and stuff too. So, yeah.
I forget, were Nightkin in the cathedral in Fallout 1? They weren't they? Because they were all invisible, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Nightkin, that concept has been around since the first game, but they didn't carry it into like the Bethesda ones as much, right? That was only in New Vegas a lot.
Yeah, that's some of the differences between the two sides and the Masters Mutants and different FEV strains. And
I see.
It's kind of cool.
So you're saying the Nightkin might have something to do with this strain? I thought it was more that they like abused the Stealth Boy or whatever.
Well, they were also made differently too. The Nightkin were the
Okay.
Master's elite troops.
Oh,
so
interesting.
they were made somewhat differently as well.
Interesting. Very cool. All right. It's funny for me to experience the recognition of names and items in reverse order, because when he was like, he mentioned Eulogy Jones, I was like, oh, I know that outfit from Fallout Shelter. You know, like sometimes I see a character pop up, people mention names and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I know them from Fallout Shelter. Oh, they're from Fallout 3. Okay, that's where they're from. It's just, I recognize things in reverse that everyone else, they get excited about these, classic Fallout items and people, and I'm like, yeah, that's from Shelter. that's my main reference point now to the whole series. Brian Wilkes, what was he talking about to the kid? Is he selling them into slavery?
Yes.
That's not good. Don't do that.
But Brian did want a home after the quest, which I thought it was great. A lot of people went back and checked out that quest because it was a lot of fun. You have a couple of choices.
That's not bad.
You can bring him to Little Lamplight. You can get him to his Aunt Vera. I think you can just leave him there. Tell him, just to stay there with the scientist. Or you can, give him a collar.
Don't give him a collar. That's not the ant boy, is it?
Yeah.
It is?
Brian Wilkes.
Interesting.
Did you take care of him?
Who, me?
Yeah, after you did. No, you haven't done that quest.
I haven't run into him yet. I thought it was like right outside the vault in that town, but I ran around the town and I swear I recognized these buildings and I was like, oh, this is where the ants should be. This is where the boy, but like nothing was around. I was like,
You usually run into him.
I wonder if that's a level cap thing.
I usually see him at Super Duper Mart.
Yeah, if not Super Duper Mart, then on the way to Minefield and the junkyard for dog meat.
I didn't realize that it could move around.
He does. You run into him separately. You don't run into him in town.
Okay. I thought I ran into him in that town there.
Yeah, I've met him anywhere across the river and just generally in that area.
Beautiful. Haven't run into him yet. So I need to look out for them.
Well, I hope Jeff enjoys his Alaskan vacation coming up.
It's not real, Jeff. I hate to break the illusion. All right. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Good to hear from you, sir. We have Baker coming up next, the Spaceland Baker.
All right. Little late getting started on this, but better late than never. I based this character since it's based on speech and unarmed, and this is a game where there's no running; it's only walking. At least unless you have mods. I based my character on Steven Seagal. Going to punch everything, going to lie every chance I get, and obviously no running. And if there's any option to do some bad acting, I'll do that. But
odd loyalty to Russia too.
Stevie Seagal managed to make it out of the Vault 101 after, according to him, beating up several hundred guards and leaving Amada to fend off the last 3 or 4 so that he could make his grand escape. And as he was leaving, he got the alert that she was unconscious, so he assumed that she, beat the hell out of them and then went to take a nap or something. And then he made his way to a megaton where he met Moira and went to do a whole bunch of stuff he didn't want to do, but he did it anyway because he figured that was his key to, making it big in the wasteland. So as he was clearing out the Super Duper Mart, came across a pair of brass knuckles, and then once almost as I was leaving the Super Duper Mart, a pair of spike knuckles. And thankfully, having high repair, man, it's been easy to keep those things repaired. So the punchy punches just never stop. And then as he was heading back to Moira from one of the many friggin' things she sent him out for, came across a group of raiders. One of them was wearing a hockey mask. So managed to get a +5 to unarmed from the hockey mask. So he's already pretty beefy at level 5. I ran through Rivet City. I've been, killing anybody with the name Slaver because I don't feel like no matter what character I play, I'm going to be doing that. So I kill all the slavers and then made my way to Rivet City. I got neutral karma, pave your own way, make your own way karma. I'm not really paying attention to the karma too much. Whatever I feel like I want to do or is in the character's best interest, that's really what it is. It's like whatever is in my best interest, that's what I'm going to do. So Moira sending me out for stuff, I'm doing that because, Moira's offering me money. It ain't going to be because, I'm being compassionate. Definitely not going to blow up Megaton simply because that's the center of the map. Why would I go live in the Tenpenny Tower? I've been there. I remember going there in my last game, the first time I ever played it, and I didn't like it there. So I'm just not going to bother with Tenpenny Tower. As I was running around, little kid runs up, starts screaming about ants and all this other stuff, and then another guy runs up and starts yelling about things attacking his town. So I'm like, oh God, all right, let's go to Grey Ditch. So I'll go to Grey Ditch, go ant punching, go down and find the scientist, get everything, clear everything out, finish that up. And when I was getting ready to leave Grey Ditch, I was like, wait a minute, I remember there being a bobblehead north of here. And I know that the garage, it's like west of the garage or east of the garage. I don't know, it was north of Grey Ditch or north of Girder Shade. Then I was like, oh yeah, Girder Shade. So I went over to Girder Shade and then went north from there. And, if you look around, it's not hard to find. There is Argyle, the cave where Argyle and I forget who he was bitch for, but they have a cave up there where there's a hidden bobblehead for unarmed. So I grabbed that, and so it's just at level 5 or 6. Man, my character is just beefing up as it goes. So I'm able to punch most things with 1 or 2 hits already. So I think I'm going to slack off on putting points into that. I had to grab, I forget, was it a bobblehead that I came across that gave me an extra point of charisma? And so I got 4 assigned points in charisma, and I needed 5 for my level 8. That's where I made it to, was level 8, because I had to pick a perk at level 8. And so I needed 1 extra perk in charisma. So that was pretty helpful. I would say for me, like, this probably isn't, I don't know if it's the same for everybody else. It's like I have more trouble sticking to what I'm supposed to do than actually doing the stuff. It's just like I have to remember that I'm melee, so I've got to like stop picking up shotguns. My first thing every time I see a shotgun is to pick it up. Still don't have the companion I'm supposed to have because dog meat. But eventually I will go find him. And then I guess from now I go see, from Rivet City, I don't want to do the main quest. So I'm going to just go around and do what I can to get close to, I guess, level 10 before we start doing the first DLC. I don't know. I might just run around and just punch things until it's time. So until then, I guess I will see you in the Wasteland.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Spaceland Baker, sir. Your guys' thoughts? My first and foremost, I think Stevie Seagulls might be the best character name I've ever heard. I love that.
Stevie will be extra happy when Three Dog starts, letting everybody know of all of his great
his tasks and
works.
feats and his accomplishments across the land.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. He said he wants Megaton as because it's more centralized on the map. If we got fast travel, does it actually matter?
No. I mean, and we're not really paying caps to fast travel, are we? Just time at most. Just a little bit of time.
In the game, the clock passes that time, I assume, that you're traveling and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do diseases progress?
But the nice thing is that at Megaton, you fast travel, you're just right outside of your house.
Yeah. At 10 Penny Tower, you have to trot all the way inside and go all down the
stairs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. More of a hassle. And those are your 2 real options for, a house with nice storage and a bed and the ability to build those different sort of like vendor type things that are like, the health that'll give you stim packs or chems probably, right? Is that the other one?
Yep.
Yes, if you want to take advantage of those kind of amenities, have a official player home without a mod.
So what is everyone's that don't use those locations, starter home or sort of like secret stash where you dump all your safe stuff?
Yeah, there's a stump just outside of Megaton.
Shut up. Stupid stump. I'll burn that motherfucker down. That's the worst.
A lot of locations, okay, like we talked about, though. And I mean, I heard some people even the location in Arfu with the dead bodies.
I dumped a bunch of stuff there. Yeah, that's where I am right now. Got a bunch of stuff
Yes, you were the person I was referring to.
And also, I dumped a bunch of stuff by Moira's corpse because I figured, she's not going to miss anything, right? Oh, and when you kill Moira, you get her entire... of course you do because you killed her, but not just the inventory on her, but her entire store's inventory as well. I was like, holy shit.
Wait, you get like all your themes and stuff for the house if you want, even, or are those gone?
I didn't really look through the whole list, so I didn't specifically look for those, but I doubt it. But
yeah, probably
it's
other
really
stuff.
just like the weapons and armor and ammo and stuff like that.
Wow.
But
still not a good enough reason to be so horrible.
What are you talking about? I don't need any reason. She is reason. All right. Do you have anything else for Baker there? Oh, did you guys hear? Do you think he was playing a little bit of like environmental, like mood music, sort of something in the background? Did you hear that at all in his?
I didn't. Yeah, you might have heard that, or maybe you're just more sensitive to it. I enjoyed the way he was playing, though, talking about going around and avoiding the main quest, just exploring. I like that he found Argyle's cave.
Yeah, that's Rockopolis.
Rockopolis.
Yeah, it's a unmarked location.
Maybe that was what Leon said instead of Necropolis. Rockopolis.
Rockopolis? There you go.
I knew you had to hear something.
Yeah, and that's the Daring Dashwood and his ghoul manservant Argyle. There's a holotape and stuff in there too. So you can follow that whole story.
All right, so I'm fully this week expecting a correction email from Leon, and then an apology about 38 minutes later. Oh goodness, sorry. All right, yes, Baker, thank you so much. What do we have coming up next here? I know we've got just one last here.
One more. Feedback from Lou.
Yeah, we've got Lou. Haven't heard from Lou in a long time. Lou hasn't sent feedback in forever. He hasn't, overtaken the show and just made it the Lou show or anything like that. Welcome back, Lou, for the third time in as many shows. Lou.
Damn it. Oh, okay, there we go. Hey-yo. Allie, say hi.
It's the Lou show.
Hello. What are you playing, Allie?
Oh, no way. Shelter.
How many guys are in your vault?
Fuck yeah.
29.
And what's your happiness?
81.
Nice.
We're talking Shelter.
Yeah, Allie's
nice.
playing Fallout Shelter. I'm talking to a recording, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to send it into the Fallout feed. Don't be shy. I'm shy, so it's okay.
I'm shyer than you.
Let's see. I didn't do much for this week's play. I went and grabbed Fisto, and I fixed my karma on Ray's suggestion. I went to the donation
Fisto.
box at
What game was he playing?
So it only took 100 caps, but now I'm neutral, and that's good. And I'm psyched. So after tonight's feedback, tonight's feedback episode, then we can finally start on. I'm drawing a blank. What the hell are we doing? Operation Anchorage. All right. I mean, that's pretty much it. My short feedback. I wanted to put Allie on the mic here for a second just because he's sitting right here. You have anything else to say, Allie?
Nope.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you in the wasteland.
Awesome. Thank you, Lou.
Bet you feel bad for teasing him to have him immediately go into Fallout Shelter. You're like, well, hell, maybe he can take over the show.
Shelter's the best. It's like, shut up, everyone. They're talking Shelter. This is important. Fisto. Fisto's from Vegas, right? No.
Yes.
Who's
the
Fisto?
sex robot.
Right. So who did Lou mean?
I'm actually not sure. I don't remember if his assigned companion is RL7. It might be that. I mean, hey, Fisto only has 2 arms, so upgrade. But yeah, I don't know.
Ew, Jess.
I mean, just falling into his logical conclusion.
My goodness.
Yeah, I'm not sure which robot he meant.
Well, thank
But
you,
that's
Lou.
great.
Very good.
Sounds like he's having fun.
And I'm just poking fun, Lou. Please do not take any personal offense by my my horrible attack, but preceding your feedback, sir. Please keep up the good work and the feedback all season long. Great.
May I say how much I love that a lot of feedbacks were a family affair this week and so far this season. A lot of people's kids chiming in.
Yeah.
We got
Hey,
spouses. We got stories.
The next generation of listeners.
Absolutely. Kids are probably like looking at their parents play the game from 2008, 7. When did this game come out? And they're like, "What is that?" You know what I mean? Like, you can't help but be intrigued by, oh my gosh, wow, you know.
It's the new raid sweeping the nation, Fallout 3. You know, if we get that remake, maybe it will be. Oh my God. But that's a whole nother story. We don't need to go back down
They
that
got to
road.
get it on Switch, man. I'm telling you, that's the way to get the kids.
Mm-hmm. Switch getting some of those games.
All right, that was our feedback. Thanks, everyone, so much. Next week, we will be heading off to Alaska for Operation Anchorage, but keep in mind, it's just a simulation. All right, so let's get into a little bit of, hey, what are you doing, Otter? Otter's trying to disrupt the show, so let's check into some iguana bits.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up. Well, thank you, Jess. Don't mind if I do. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, our bits are overflowing. Okay, we are drowning in bits. We're saving a few for next week, but let's hit a couple of big ones. So first of all, for those who didn't see, there was an article on America's Playground, the next update coming for Fallout 76. That is the Atlantic City update 2. This is the one that's going to bring us to an area where we get to actually meet more of the NPCs, walk around, see the different areas, stay there outside of an expedition, and get a few quests there and some fun stuff. Also, there will be a third mission with this. So besides the 2 missions we have, there will be a third mission coming along with it. I mentioned that because there was a deep dive video on it to kind of explain what was happening, what people could look forward to. So we'll talk about that more as we get closer. But the video I do recommend watching. You can even just check, the Bethesda YouTube channel to find it, or of course go to fallout.bethesda.net to the blog. In that, the brand manager, Haley, was actually doing the questions this time. And she had a thing set up with quest designer Ellis Tan, who we know. Ellis Tan has worked on quests in 76 for years now. The designer of the Mothman event, I believe, co-designer of Mothman event, the designer of Aliens for sure, and a number of quests that we've done. Quest designer Stephanie Zachariadis, who Stephanie was the lead writer for Fallout London for the first several years of Fallout London, and she's the one that was hired away about almost 2 years ago now, a good year and a half ago. She was hired away by Bethesda, stolen from Fallout London. Luckily, a lot of the writing was done and set. And so she's been working on 76 since then. And she designed some of the characters you've already seen in Atlantic City. And of course, the ones that we will meet further beyond that. So she talks a bit about them. There's a really fun anecdote about how she creates characters kind of from the description of the name. Like she'll often get a name or idea for a character and then create their backstory from that. So for those who have been doing the expeditions, which I know not a lot of our listeners are necessarily doing the Fallout 76 expeditions at the moment, whether they're playing other Fallout games or just not into the expos. But there's a character, Billy Beltbuckles, who we didn't meet on the one we did live because he's on the other one that you do, Tax Evasion. Well, Billy Beltbuckles, someone suggested the name, and the person who suggested the name was, I should let you guys listen to the anecdote, but long story short, the colorful character that you know and maybe love if you played the expos kind of came from the name and worked backwards. So talks a bit about that and all the different characters we'll meet. The fact that we'll actually see all 3 factions now. You get the showmen, you get the family, but you're also going to get the city government. I don't remember their exact name. I think it's city government, maybe city center, maybe municipal government, something like that. So that's really good. Beyond that, they go into discussing the new season setup for Fallout 76. And I'm guessing Andrew and some people listening aren't aware of this yet. Andrew, are you aware of all the changes to Fallout seasons in the chore board?
What?
Let me entice you. Okay? Let me entice you. What would you say if I said new currency?
Get over yourself.
Just get over yourself. What are you thinking?
Stop
Who needs
it.
more currency?
Stop it, please.
Get some help. No. Okay, so yeah, tickets. If you didn't have enough, now we're getting tickets. These aren't Nukicade tickets. These are season tickets.
I
Now-
hate it. I hate.
You hate it.
Can I disgortirement Ray? What's the verdict here? Because
I don't know. I might have to start playing 76 again because who can resist a game with 10 currencies?
you love new currencies. That's what drives your motivation to play video games.
Know your
Ooh,
currencies.
New currency.
Stay current
Oh,
on
good
your
Lord.
currencies. So here's the deal. Okay, we got stamps. Now think about how you deal with stamps. You never think about stamps except when you're going up and you're talking to Giuseppe and you're trading in stamps for that. So the season currency should be very similar, the tickets. Here's a quick explanation on how it's going to work because there have been pages shared. It looks really complicated. It's not that complicated. You still have essentially the 1 through 100 levels and reward for the scoreboard. Okay, right now, as you get your rank, each time you rank up, you go to the next bubble on the scoreboard in linear progression. The new method, okay, every 10 ranks, you're going to unlock a new page. And there are 10 pages. So it's still 10 pages, 10 times 10 is 100. So still up to 100 ranks to unlock everything. But on those 10 pages, there are going to be a bunch of things shown. And they're going to have a ticket value, okay? Every time you level up, rank up, you get 25 tickets. You can then choose what you want on the scoreboard. So if you rank 1 through 10, you're on the first page. You're like, ooh, I want that and that and that. I don't need trail fireworks. I don't need this Funko Pop Power Armor skin. Well, that sounds pretty cool, actually. But I don't need this Power Armor skin. Okay, whatever you don't need, you don't have to buy. Save your tickets. Maximize your value. And so then you hit rank 11, and now boom, now you got 2 pages open. Okay, so you're on page 11. So just like when you look at the seasons on the website, and they had 1 through 10, 11 through 20, that's now how the board's going to be set up. So it's pages that you unlock and can flip through. Buy as you go. That sounds complicated. Let me quickly make it real easy for you. Every 10 levels, a new page to buy from. Every rank, you get 25 tickets that you can spend. When you hit 100, that's still the end of the general stuff, but you can then continue to spin it around and earn more tickets, just like on the board now. Items will have variable values. It's kind of the same. But making it so that you don't really need to think about your tickets except when you're actually looking at the board and redeeming things. Does that make sense?
I'm a simple lawyer. I fear change.
We fear change. Yeah, no, it is a thing.
Yeah.
So
I think I can handle that, though. Go ahead.
Is that enough tickets to buy everything in that group?
Well, and that's the question, right? Because if you can still, with the number of tickets you earn in 100 levels, get all 100 items, then there's really not that much difference. I don't think it will be. I have a feeling that, the tickets you'll earn over 100 levels will get you like 80% of them or something. Because what I'm seeing, looking at example,
and then you'll be able to buy tickets to with Adams.
Why? How convenient! Buy tickets, yes. And if you're not a Fallout First member, so you know how Fallout First members, they get extra items on the scoreboard? Well, if you're not a Fallout First member, but you want extra items on the new board, you can buy a season pass without subscribing to Fallout First. So we don't know what the price is going to be. I would guess maybe half the price or something. You can do that to unlock those items. So there you go. More ways to spend your real life currency for in-game currency.
Happy, joy.
Not pay to play, though, remember?
No, not. Oh, I mean, come on.
Pay to win, play to
We're going
pay
to Atlantic
play,
City
play
now.
to win.
It really is a little bit pay to play, but
a little on
the
the
new season
nose
system
there, even.
It's gonna be pretty much the same in practice. Like, as much as it sounds like a big change, it'll be similar in practice. You'll be able to a little more pick and choose what you do. There will still also be a storyline. So you know how currently you get the board that when you complete the whole thing to put up on the wall? Now you're going to get a larger mural. So they're still doing boards, but it's more of a large mural, and there will still be a theme to the season. This next season coming up is going to be, what is it, Rip Daring? Yeah, so not Herbert Daring Dashwood we were just talking about. Rip Daring, the cool time travel cop guy that we've done before in 76.
Say, Jess, our Fallout First sales have plateaued. What are we going to do? Oh, let's invent new...
Like and subscribe, or dislike and subscribe anyway, because you need the stuff.
Let's make it so you can just buy everything. But Fallout First is already purchasing that. We're already giving them money for that.
Yeah,
So
and you can still
just,
do that. Like, you have Fallout First, everything's the same. But if you want to get those Fallout First items on the scoreboard, or whatever you want to call the new thing, the new season system, you can do that separately too.
Does that make Fallout First no longer like exclusive status though? Oh, we still get the tent and stuff though, right?
Yep, yeah, we still get all the other benefits with First. Not to mention the 1650 atoms. I think whatever the cost is going to be for season pass, First is still better. I mean, the atoms alone pay for it, as we've talked about. And if you play much, private worlds, custom servers, survival tent. Scrap box, need I say more?
Scrap box and survival tent, definitely. I don't use the private worlds too much.
So speaking of spending money, I said there were a lot of bits this week. Well, you don't get your bits for free, okay? Nobody puts iguana on the table for nothing. So we've already talked about the Atomic Shop. Let's talk about what else you can spend that IRL currency on. So it was announced actually 2 weeks ago, but I didn't mention last week, I think, that the new Fallout Special Anthology is coming out. So the Fallout Special Anthology is a really cool release that they had in the past, where it's a set with all the Fallout games together. Now, I know a lot of us already own, all or most of the games, maybe multiple times over, but this is a cool collector's thing. So you get a mini nuke display, call it a mini nuke display that opens up, and inside there are cool cards for all special. So, strength, endurance, perception, all the usual. And on each of those is a code for one of the games. So essentially, you're getting a cool collector's card set. You're getting another copy of all the games, and it's in a cool mini nuke display. It's only about $60 USD, which is actually a great price because the mini nukes can be pretty pricey to buy on their own. A lot of times it takes $70, $80 to even buy a cool mini nuke, a replica. So this is pretty great. That said, I think it is sold out already on the pre-orders, but you can click and register it for on the site. So I should have mentioned it last week, but there's a notify button, notify when available. And they're saying they're going to make a bunch for people. So I wanted to let you know about that. Things you can pre-order that are not going to sell out, at least not right away. The Fallout, the Magic the Gathering set. So we talked about this, when it was first announced, was it last fall? Maybe late summer? Anyway, that set, I think it was late summer. That set is coming out on March 8th. So we are just 1 week away from the Fallout, the Magic the Gathering set. So you can pre-order that all over. Any game store, any place to buy Magic cards, Amazon. There are 4 commander decks. We've got the Scrappy Survivors with Dogmeat. We've got Hail Kaisar with Caesar as your leader. We've got the Mutant Menace with none other than Mothman as the, head Mothman in charge. And the Science set, which was that, did they have Dr. Lee as the boss on that? Now I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. It was somebody surprising. I think it might have been Dr. Lee who we're all meeting. Look that up again. Yep, okay, people in chat are agreeing. That is good. So that's available for pre-order. Just want to mention all that. So yeah, a couple things you can buy.
I'm over here looking like fingers crossed. You can Play Fallout 1 on Xbox. Nope.
You know, I would love that stuff, but we got all these other
PC people.
These other things. Well, the Magic the Gathering, of course, is cards. So people are wondering how much that is. I should mention it's between $50 and $60 USD for a full set. Each one of the major packs, and if you want to own every card, the entire bundle, that's like $190. So it's not cheap. You know, not Fallout board game cheap. Not Fallout Shelter, the board game cheap. Which, by the way, Andrew, did you ever end up playing that, the Shelter version of the board game?
I haven't. I've not cracked it open yet. I don't know why.
Cool looking. You know, it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I do think the Shelter is probably easier to play than the actual Fallout board game, which is a little complicated.
Well, I was looking at it when I first got it. It's evidently a multiplayer game, which I was surprised about. So I don't know. There's evidently, I'll recruit Mo to come in and play with me.
Mm-hmm. So we're also only a month and a half out from the TV show. There are some things I don't know if we mentioned before. If people knew about the run, turns out it's going to be an 8-episode season. So we were talking a few weeks ago about how TV seasons have changed. 10 to 13, quite often only 6 or 8 on some of these services. Well, it turns out the Fallout TV show is an 8-episode season, and it will be released one at a time.
And
I do wish it was longer.
It's changed from an hour-long drama to a half-hour comedy.
No, thank you. The ghoul on stage, cracking wise, laugh track in the background.
He's a ghoul with an attitude problem. She's a nanny robot who's trained to watch this crazy couple in a vault. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, come on. That might work. Yes, perfect. Let's write that sitcom.
Crowd goes wild. Love it. but no, so it'll be 8 episodes. And next weekend at the South by Southwest convention, which some people are probably aware of, it happens every year. Down, I think it's in Texas. Austin area? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. That's South by Southwest. And they have a lot of events there. What is it, like TV mostly? Is it like TV and entertainment? Kind of like a Comic-Con? Do you know, Ray?
Yeah, I think there's music stuff.
Lots of music presentations.
There's also a lot
of
such. New apps get introduced there. Quite a bit of technology stuff like that.
Yeah, now that you mention that, I remember it originally being more music is how I'd heard about it. I feel like it was maybe originally almost all music and has grown. And we got Arch and Popping in chat mentioning Austin, Texas. That is excellent. So I don't know if you've gone, but it's probably nearer to people down there than it is to us. But so South by Southwest is happening next weekend, and Fallout TV show is going to have a pretty major presence there. They're doing an event. They're bringing in some influencers and people to see stuff, or if you want to buy tickets, obviously you can go. They're going to have an entire wasteland experience set up. So kind of like they did at the event in Brazil back when the trailer dropped, when we saw the trailer back a couple months ago. But this is going to be in the hotel's parking lot. They're converting it into Philly. So that's kind of the shantytown area that we see a little bit of in the trailer. The shantytown of Philly, transporting guests to the post-apocalyptic world of the show. Enter via a sewer tunnel, I'm quoting now, enter via a sewer tunnel and learn about life outside the iconic Fallout bunkers known as vaults. And then the article continues. The activation looks to be very immersive, with locals throughout guiding you to collect bottle caps. You can also utilize the Vault 33 resident portal, oh my gosh, VARP, to go on scavenger quests to find pre-war artifacts and other interactive opportunities to earn more bottle caps. You can even take time to grab a bite, whether it's a fancy lad snack cake or... Okay, so this article I'm reading is on comiccon.com, and it says whether it's fancy lad snack cakes or ass jerky. I don't believe ass jerky is a food item. It's a food item in the games. But yeah, apparently you can grab a bite of snack cakes or ass jerky.
What's that a reference to?
Maybe they meant assorted jerky, Maybe they mean ass jerky is a thing that they have. This is once again quoting comiccon.com. So yeah, you can test your marksmanship shooting junk jets, photo opportunities, futuristic yet post-apocalyptic dentist chair. Oh, wow. You can even pose with some power armor or in front of a feral ghoul cage. So, long story short, this is going to be a pretty kick-ass wasteland experience. I can't wait to see pictures. It's almost like a little section at Disneyland, like a little pop-up amusement park area. So, yeah, what could go wrong? It's Nuka World, guys. Except set in Philly. Really excited about that. So we're going to get information from that, probably get some news, maybe a new trailer drop or something along with it, and that will be next weekend. Yeah, ass jerky is strange meat. Exactly. Ass jerky is what you eat in Andal. One last thing on the bits I want to mention. Speaking of TV shows, but on a different tack. For those who don't know, I'm sure most of our listeners are familiar with the show Nuka Break. A few years back they weren't, but we've talked about it before. I know it's been shown amongst our friends. It was a YouTube series, fan-created YouTube series, couple of seasons, called Nuka Break, with a great cast of characters. It was tongue-in-cheek, it was fun, and the story got pretty complex as it went along. Well, that ended. Some stuff happened with Wayside. I believe Wayside Digital was the company that did the original, along with, of course, the creators. Well, Zach Frinfrock has put out a press release because he started a GoFundMe a little while ago to do a new series, kind of following up on Nuka Break. So let me just read a little bit of the press release. This is official from February 20th. Zach Frinfrock, creator and star of Fallout Nuka Break, has begun production on a follow-up film titled Fallout Breaking. This is going to be a fan film version. Fallout Breaking continues the story of Twig, now clearly physically and psychologically changed, carrying along his trusty Nuka Breaker, that's his giant sign mallet, as he once again searches for happiness in the wasteland. This new film is a solo venture for Frinfrock and not associated with Wayside Digital. Zach is now at the helm co-directing this time, along with his creative partner, Peter Weidman. So yeah, okay, it was Wayside Digital. This is a solo fan-funded film via the GoFundMe. The press release continues. Aiming to be one of the most game-accurate films yet, Zach has been running this GoFundMe to help produce this new short film, teamed up with other Fallout content makers to borrow a large collection of props and costumes from the recent games. It goes on to kind of talk about who he's partnering with, what they're doing, saying that they've already surpassed 16,000. They're actually, I believe they've surpassed 18,000 at this point. This press release came out about a week and a half ago. So long story short, it finishes saying they're not looking to compete with the approaching release of the Amazon Studios official Fallout TV show, but rather wishes to live alongside it, aiming for an early April release. Wow, talk about timing. The goal is that old and new fans alike will get to experience a return of Nuka Break's goofy and naive Vault Dweller, although maybe not as naive as he used to be, in anticipation of the new TV show's official take on the franchise. So
it's just like when Dante's Inferno and Volcano came out the same weekend.
Yeah, exactly like that, but less Pierce Brosnan.
Dante's Peak, Inferno. I don't remember. I got the titles mixed up or something there.
Dante's Peak was correct. The other one, I don't think, but I don't remember what it was.
I think I said Dante's Inferno. I think I combined two of them or something.
Well, that's a book, but that's neither here nor there. So, yes, you guys, if you liked Nuka Break, check out Nuka Breaking fan film, planning to be completed for early April to watch. And of course, we'll share that link when it does, if it happens on schedule. Obviously, you know, film production, a lot goes into it. Stuff can change. But he said he's got 3 days of filming down already and a lot of people working on this, and the funding is going great. So I'm really looking forward to it. And those are all the bits I have, Andrew.
Little bit of Jess, little bit of Jessica. Are we doing
a little bit of Monica.
Mambo number Jess over here?
No, no.
No, we are not, Andrew. All right. So guys, we're already running a little bit long. Did you want to play a quick game, or shall we push that off to next week? What do you think?
Let's say for next week. I feel like this will be a fun game with multiple people.
Yeah,
and I think next week we're going to have both Will and possibly Suliore joining us.
Right. So,
Yep.
lots of interaction galore. So, yeah, be good for conversation and also maybe a game or two. So, looking forward to it next
Operation
week.
Anchorage, and a game.
Operation Anchorage. So, it's like Fallout Operation, where you like don't touch the sides and you're trying to dig out the bones out of some power armor or something. No. All right. Operation Anchorage, guys. We'll see you up in Alaska. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into this edition of the Fallout feed. You can find Jess over there at You Wastelanders, also at Sleep is 4T and at Dames Who Game. Jess, thanks so much for hopping on tonight.
It's been a great time.
Woo! What's that, slide whistle?
I was trying to get a buzzer noise to be like Operation, when you hit the side.
Yeah.
It didn't quite work.
That's such a cool game. Really fun concept.
Yeah, if they did it for Fallout, they could do power armor, like power armor repair. You get new joints and components or something.
Hey, that'd be fun. And you can also learn about circuitry and stuff. That'd be good.
Or a classic Operation with a ghoul body.
That'd be great. Yeah, perfect.
That would be awesome.
It's like missing a couple bones. I don't know. All right, and you can find Ray and all of your No Man's Sky needs over there at BBCISSS, also at Ray LB. Ray, thanks so much.
Good times.
I am at Indie Android. The show is at the Fallout feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout feed. We'll see you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Ass jerky.
I forget who he was bitch for.
Naughty Nightwear.
Biggest jerks in the world.
Someone had to uphold basic hygiene standards in the wasteland.
He wants to die.
So you get all kinds of hallucinations.
The wiener roller. Power nipple.
The doctor unit.
Leave that shopping cart alone.
I'm shorter than you.